up, you go back to living. It changes drastically when it is your partner that dies, the one you chose to grow old with. You are then truly alone. We've all heard of the milestone. Excuse me. We've all heard of the milestones that one has to face in the first year. Yes, they are important, but you soon realize that everything from that moment on is a first. You go to bed that night after the celebration. You reach out to touch. Nothing. You roll over to cuddle. Nothing. What do? You get up. You go to the dresser. You go to the closet. You get pajamas, lingerie, panties, you name it, you get it. You bring it back to bed, you hold it. You want to smell them. You want to feel that they're there in your mind. No. Just like a kid's security blanket. You get up in the morning, same thing, nothing. You leave to go out for coffee. Bye. Silence. You come home. Hi, honey, I'm home. Silence. Everything from that day on is a first. Remember, yes, Men Do Cry reflects what I was going through and how I processed my feelings. It's me talking to Lois and myself. There is repetition, but obviously this is part of the healing process. It is a tough read, but it is true and it is raw. Hard at the beginning, but things do get better. Hey, I'm here with you guys and I'm having a ball. I had no idea of what lay ahead. It's frustrating at the beginning. You just want things to go back to the way they were. But in the back of your mind, you know this is not going to happen. And you can't even imagine, right at the beginning, yourself getting through this. There are two things that gave me the strength to survive the roller coaster ride of what we call grieving. The first was what Lois showed on July 27, 2000, when we were told she had a terminal illness. We were both in shock. We held each other, and then she said, let's pretend we're on a Disneyland ride. We're going to enjoy it as much as we can. Those who want to get off can. We just don't know when it's going to end. The second was, and this was the first unofficial entry I put in, because I was actually thinking then. I was on the way to New Zealand in a plane to see my mum and my brother and sister. She had wanted, the first entry was what took place on September the 4th, 2000, her birthday. She'd wanted to go out, but didn't feel up to it. So we had a little party at home. She was embarrassed. She didn't prepare it. She couldn't. Cheese and crackers, hell, to me that was great. It was a great evening. Everyone finally left. What happened next was unbelievable. We went to bed, and then out of the blue she said, I want you to make love to me. That was the last thing on my mind. Just cuddling her hurt. But she said she'll be okay, but she might cry. We made love. But afterwards I could only cuddle her for a second because her whole body was hurting. We lay side by side. She did cry. And that was the last time we made love. 6 weeks later, it was over. I'm going to share a few entries now from the journal. I'm going to take you behind the facade. This is November, 3 weeks into the journey. Grieving is so hard to do. You think you have all the answers, but wrong. It seems as though I just don't want to face the truth that you are gone. No matter where I go, I still look for you, thinking that you'll be in the next shop, just behind me, or waiting back at the house. It's not that I feel bad for myself, I do. It's just that I expected myself to be stronger than I am at present. Hell, it's only been 3 weeks, I don't know what I was thinking. I will learn to move ahead without you being here physically. The memories will always be there, and it's those that will sustain me, especially through the bad times. Isn't there a saying that no man is an island? Well, I feel like I am on an island, all deserted, and I'm going to have to find my own way off by making use of the only tools I have, which are me and myself. December, 2 months into the journey. I think this one will surprise a lot of people here, because it sure as hell surprised me. Well, getting on with the day has been tough. It appears that Christmas is not helping. I sit in the living room and look at the Christmas ornaments still in the boxes, and lose it completely. Oh yeah, crying is a daily ritual, and you won't believe how much and how long one cries for, and that goes on for months behind closed doors. I just don't know how I'm going to get through it. I have to reinvent myself, but at this time, I don't know how. I sit and try to watch TV and read, but it's no use. My mind just focuses on you. Strange. I even thought for a moment the easiest way to resolve this hurt is to join you. So frustrated, wanting everything to be right for me. Maybe an easy way up for me, but it would be selfish as others would then suffer. But I can see why some people would take their own life, especially those who are older. December 25th, in case you don't recognize the day, Christmas Day. Yes, the first of the official milestone. Well, D-Day. It's 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm writing this. And there are a lot of these D-Days which you want one day to be the day where everything comes back to normal. The body and mind just seem numb. To try and deep down and find some happiness in my heart is impossible. My heart is broken into so many pieces, all it is doing is looking for you. Bear with me today, Ruby. To be happy for anyone, especially the kids, is going to be hard. To smile seems wrong. But laughter, yes, laughter is probably the best tonic out there. So I'm going to try and laugh. You would want that, but most of all, I think I want it for myself. Ruby, this is the start of something new. The first Christmas without you. The first Christmas in 25 years without a Christmas tree. The first Christmas with me being sad. And the first Christmas knowing that the last Christmas was the last one as our complete family. I did get through the day how I got through every day for months. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time, half an hour at a time, 15 minutes at a time, 1 minute at a time. And I always got to 12 midnight, and it was, okay, I got through that, see what comes the next day. And I was awake after 12 midnight, I would say for, I don't know, months and months. I never slept. The one thing that I miss the most now is being able to touch. What does touch mean? Well, here was my first attempt at poetry, and a lot of the scholars here will say, hell, he calls that poetry. He needs a lot of help. I call it touch. One more time, if only. The beginning, a new journey. Hi, it's only me. No words, just touch. Like a flower, one for every occasion. Sorry, good vibration, the ultimate, love. If only I could touch you one more time, I would still want more. Once is never enough. Touch. No words can really explain the meaning. Only when it is gone will they understand. One more touch if only, but not in this lifetime. Touch. I will hold it in my memory. That's all I've got now. Touch. Only in my dreams. Touch. Memory. January 2001, 3 months into the journey. Yes, your dying has given me the opportunity to find myself, to try and understand myself, and look for answers. All these are right in front of me. I don't have to look far. The answers will come from within. Basically, you've given me another lifetime to fulfill my own potential. How? I think I have to go back 25 years when I was single. Because when you are married, you stop growing as an individual. You move on a journey, a symbiotic relationship. You grow together. The weekends. Oh yeah, at the beginning they were hell. Because we always did things together. Well, I was always told what we were going to do. She arranged it. Lonely. I'm so lonely. Alone, so frightened. Here I was feeling confident, pretending obviously, that things were getting easier. And thinking that I was beginning to understand myself. Well, it began to fall apart Friday evening. I met friends Terry and John at Tapestry, a downtown Vancouver restaurant. And the thing I learned was that I have to make sure I arrive late. It is awful sitting there by yourself waiting. You go there, and they say, the maitre d', yeah, a table for 3 have got a reservation. Oh, yes, sir. You go, you sit at the table. There's only 3 of us, but 4 chairs. Ooh, gee. Then you sit down. Then you look around. Table for 2, 4, whatever. They're all having fun. Yeah, sure they are. And then the mind kicks in. And this went on for months and months. You just think to yourself, Terry and John, will you get here now? Where the hell are you? Come get in. Because let's go through the motions. Pretend we're having fun. But something's wrong. 1, 2, 3 in a vacant chair. I want them to be there as soon as they can because I want to get out of there. I want to get out of there before they come. You don't want to be there. I used to go to a movie sometimes or a play, and I was smart. This is the good part of the brain. I always made sure I had an aisle seat because 85, 90% of the time I never ever saw the end of a play or a movie. I was out of there. Finally, I reached for my rocks, Bob and Marilyn. What would I do without them? Great friends who were there for me when I needed to talk, which was at least twice weekly for months. They just listened, not trying to have an answer. I would read from the journal, and it was them who said I should publish it if I continued writing. And I had no idea what I was doing when I was writing. It just flowed. And I don't know why I was writing. As Bob said, they couldn't even begin to understand what I was going through, as they still had each other, but they were gaining a better understanding in their own way how hard grieving can be. Looking back, I obviously needed someone to talk to, as it made me feel I wasn't alone, even though I was lost. March, 6 months along. Again, you're continually looking for something that will make everything right. But now you're really beginning to realize that this hurt can't be fixed with the flick of a switch. Still seems as though I'm having a continual battle with myself, playing mind games. I'm just so lost. The thought of being here another 20 to 30 years without you is something I cannot comprehend. The thought of meeting someone else is something I cannot even imagine. I hope this wall I appear to be up against will come down soon. Maybe this is the wall I need to figure a way around and will lead to me feeling better about myself. Is this the river where I have to figure out what I have to leave behind, as I can't take everything with me, and I wouldn't make it across to the other side? These are going to be hard decisions, because it is going to hurt so much to leave things behind. Things that were us, but things I have to give up, as there's no room for them in my new life. Jesus, I hate this new life. But I will learn to love it and make the most of it. I hope this river is not too wide. The water is not too turbulent. Maybe I'll find a quiet back eddy and the crossing will become easier. I will see the opportunity to cross the river and a whole new world will open up for me. A world without you. A world that I'll make for myself. No river is too deep. For some reason, I always kept this positive attitude, conquering negativity. April, 7 months. This entry is gonna, I think you'll find it amusing. That's the easiest way to describe it. Well, I guess you've all been waiting with bated breath. For what, you say? To see how I handle the questions surrounding sex. Friends and now strangers who have read the previous pages will realize that it was an important part of my life, our life. Maybe more my life, but hey, I'm a male and we don't get headaches. Yes, it was hard, no pun intended, at first. Then it became a stage of acceptance. See, even sex has a grieving process along the same lines as general grieving. How does one cope with and handle the situation? You're alone. So you handle this as you would handle any other crisis, problem or obstacle that you face in the recovery ride. You do what you have to do alone. You have to make each step on the ride the best it can be. I need to use my memories and imagination to help me get through it. So when it comes to handling this question of sex, I'll leave it up to your imagination to decide how one would cope. And if you're honest with yourself, you will know the answer. I reread that right after I'd written it, and I realized I was waffling around the subject. So I decided to simplify the subject. I actually thought before I wrote this is again one of the 1% of the 99%, this you could call was edited. Sex is like the word death. Very important, but another thing we have a hard time talking about. Like a lot of things in life, we beat around the bush. Play on words again, maybe. Scared to say what we really mean and already know. There is one word that describes what one does when you're alone in such a situation. Masturbate. Such a simple word, it says it all, and it's even in the dictionary. But it's taboo. One word would have done it, and even though it embarrassed me, and all of you guys too, but as I said, this is all part of what I'm experiencing and how I'm handling it. If I do happen to publish this journal, then it has to contain everything I feel and everything I experience. It has to be truthful. Now, June, 9 months into the journey, I think this was the turning point, the most important step I actually took on the whole journey, except until the end, near the end. So far, this has been one hell of a week. The engines have been ignited, and now all I have to do is push the gear stick from neutral to drive, and at the end of the month, and this time for real, baby, my new life will begin. I'm moving to the West End. This all happened on Monday, and I haven't slept well since. Oh yeah, the spring is tightening in my stomach. It's talked up tight now, but there's a hell of a long way it can go. I've known from day one that this day would come. It has taken me a while to get to this point. It's exciting, but I will walk out of our place, our life. The door I'll be closing for the last time is more than an entry door. It is also the door that made us who and what we were. A pair of double doors that over the years had to be adjusted sometimes, but they always seemed to fit. Eventually one of them, you Booby, broke and couldn't be repaired. The double doors, Booby, could never be the same again. That is why I have to close, lock, and throw away the key to the remaining door. I'm about to open a new door in my life, not in my dreams. I'm really stepping into the unknown. I continue to move forward ever so slowly, but with a determination I didn't know I had. I can try and describe this in 100 different ways, but the bottom line is, this is the point of no return. I'm all dressed up and have a place to go. This is going to be one hell of a ride. It's all about me now. 3 days later, another entry in June. I feel the volcano is close to erupting. Will it? I don't know. Why am I feeling like this? Well, surprise, surprise. I'm letting the night self know why I'm feeling like that. Surprise, surprise. It's the thought of moving. Reality has set in big time. Here I am, having started to pack, making decisions what to take, what to leave behind. It's hurting so much, but I have to do it. What do I leave behind? This no one can tell me, as I don't know myself. It's strange. I have to make decisions on the spur of the moment. Time will tell if they were the right ones. Booby, what does this mean? It means our life together was not about material things. Material things can be replaced. Our life was about making memories. These are something I can take anywhere. The next entry is June the 21st. It's taken me approximately 9 months to get to this stage. The stage that I'm doing something for myself. This is a decision I've made on my own. To friends, it will not mean much, as they will not understand. It will make them feel good, as they'll feel they don't have to worry about me so much. Hey, he's moving on with this. He's got it down pat. Is 9 to 10 months too soon for all of this? Only those who have gone through what I'm going through will truly understand. I don't wish the whole experience on anyone, but we can get through it, and we do get through it, either with positive or negative results. It's all up to the individual, and positive results sound way better than negative ones. 11 months on, in September, I wrote another poem, and I called it Moving On. One day ends, then another begins. Put them together, they add up to a week. Then finally a month, and finally a year. The days at first were taken up with thoughts and memories of what we used to be, of what we were. At first, I couldn't have imagined moving on alone, but gradually things change. Hours go by, and a day goes by, without you constantly being present in my mind. I start to think of the future, realizing it's about me, as you are no more. Guilty at first, but this lasts briefly. That's where I am now. Oh, and the now is the moment, and that's where I am now. The nights are no longer as long. I look forward to tomorrow. I can see a future. December, 13 months along, for some reason I started writing a lot of poetry, and I got no idea why. Sharing, it is something you take for granted, and it's something you do subconsciously with a partner. And I wrote a poem called Sharing. To wake up in the morning, knowing you are there, sensing your presence, this is sharing. Even though you're sleeping, you let me share your space. Kissing you goodbye was sharing our commitment, sharing a special bond. Phoning you, just to hear your voice, was sharing our own private lives. Watching the kids grow was something only we could share. We could share the occasions that were special to us, birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, and last but not least, sex. To lie together, embrace, sharing the moment, sharing the exhilaration, sharing the passion. It is the sharing that I miss. Memories can't replace the feeling of sharing. It is only now that you are gone that I understand what sharing means. Sharing as I knew it, is gone. Sharing in the future, hopefully, is possible. Sharing, I hope I can do it again, as it's hard to share when you're alone. The next two entries were in January, 16 months onto the journey. And I think it might have been preparing me for the next step in the journey, for having the guts to ask a woman out, and maybe not just for dinner. Oh, booby, booby, booby. This explains it all. I want you back so much, you fully understand this is a fantasy. Even though lately I think of you constantly. It must be my way of handling or trying to my hurt. Thinking of the good times, wanting the good times, knowing that now they have to come from what I make. Round and round we go. It's an intriguing web we weave ourselves. The web breaks, so I have to spin a new one. This I will continue to do until I make a web so strong that I will feel safe, feel confident with myself. If I don't continue to feel confident, I'm screwed. It's 12:45, time to go home alone. There, that should make you all feel sorry for me. I'm not sorry for me. I'm just pissed off at myself. 23 and a half more hours, and it will be another day. My life will move on. The next poem I read at my brother's funeral in New Zealand. I wrote it the night before. His death brought back memories and made life as precious and joy than nowadays. I call it the candle. Night has fallen. You're engulfed by darkness. The city lights glow in the distance. They show there is life beyond the window. But you're alone. You feel down. You are sad. You light the candle, one by one. The flames, they dance. They reach for the sky. Each burns differently, all individual. They give you light. They give you warmth. They give you strength. But just like life, the flame will die. When will that be? No one can tell. Until the flame dies, it will give its best to light the darkness. So, just like the candle, do not give up until you can breathe no more. Be down, be sad, but keep the flame burning, as we are like the candle, burning to die. 17 months into the journey was March 2002. Still feeling as though I'm just floating like a feather in the wind. Like the feather, I don't know where I will land. It's as though I have no control, but I know for sure this is not so. I'm in complete control. It's me allowing myself to be in this state. I want companionship so much, but I'm scared. I want to touch, explore, and feel someone selfishly for my own needs. But it's something I need to happen because I have to justify to myself that I can love again. Or is it simply that somebody may want me? April the 16th, 18 months along. I think I'm beginning to feel I would be okay if I'm alone. Yet being with someone would be nice. And the brain's great, I'm hedging my bets on that one. I think I can now see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think it's a mirage. And this is how things change quickly when you least expect. This is a big one. I've felt in my mind that a relationship would help. Well, as I mentioned yesterday, I've been seeing Leanne, who is the first since you. Another woman after 25 years and not just going out for dinner. I feel so bad. Why? Because I'm a bloody idiot. The first doesn't have to be the one. I needed this big time to hold someone, to love someone. But now it's available, I'm beating myself up over it. Liette, yes, she also has lost a husband. See, a woman seems to need what a man needs in this process also. They also need to hold, love, and feel wanted. Why the hell wouldn't they? It seems as though the only thing that is different from when we were young is that now we cut right to the chase. We realize time is short, and if we can't say what we think, then maybe there's no future in this relationship. One of the first things I said when I ever met a woman, even if it was just over coffee and not just talking to a woman, is to let them know that I have 2 gay kids. Because if they don't approve, I wouldn't waste my time, as nothing will ever come between me and my kids. Well, this was Liette's response after I told her I have a daughter who is gay, and she said, so? And I thought, okay, on the brownie scale, this is maybe 5 out of 10 here. Not promising. Then I said, I always have a gun. A gun. then I said, I also have a son. And she said, is he a drag queen? And I said, no, but he is gay also. And we continued to have a great evening. So right from the first meeting, Liette showed promise. And then she was racking up points here. It was good. I've come a hell of a long way. I had a journey, my journey to complete. There was no turning back. This is my life, and I'm doing it my way. If I find someone new, you'll always be there. Yes, I can move forward with you occupying part of my unconscious mind. 2 years on, this is October the 17th, and in case you've forgotten, that was the day before the 2nd anniversary. And it's interesting, it's 6 months since the last entry. So much has happened since I last wrote. I have completely focused myself, I've been completely focused on myself and my unfolding and developing relationship with Liette. She officially moved in. And this here, professionals will have a heyday with that one, the day before the 2nd anniversary. It just happened. It wasn't, no professional can explain why it happened that day. Yes, it has been about my rebirth. I like that. Me finding me. Remember, way back I said I had to find me as an individual. I think I had to find myself. Well, a lot has happened, from you dying, to me grieving my way, me re-emerging, feeling confident with my decisions, and most of all, feeling good about life. I am beginning to laugh again. Looking back, it seemed impossible to me. I loved you so much, I couldn't imagine life without you. You're still so close to me, you're so far away. Liette appeared unexpectedly, and yes, I can love again. August the 18th, 2003, 9 months since the last entry. I think this is quite significant. 9 months. That's approximately how long it takes to have a baby. 9 months is completely about me and concentrating on my new life with Liette. Now to others, this might not mean a thing. But to me it means the tunnel I found myself in at the beginning that was so scary is now starting to look a bit like a freeway. Open road ahead. I can see ahead, not into the future, but ahead. I'm happy with the now. I'm happy with me. I'm happy with Liette. October the 18th, the 3rd anniversary of 2003. 3 years. It's hard to imagine. Have people forgotten? truthfully, unless they see me, I really think most have. Funny, isn't it? We celebrate occasions throughout our lives, birthdays, anniversaries, achievements. Death, we celebrate with a celebration of life. We say goodbye. The first years, others remember. As time moves on, it seems to fade. It goes back again to what I've said before. We don't like to talk about death and dying. Hell, it's just as big as an event as being born. 25 years with one person shouldn't mean you have to close that chapter of your life. August of 2012, Ajijic, Mexico. More than 9 years since the last entry. Liette and I got married August the 20th, 2005. We've made a new life together. You commit, and another journey starts again into the unknown. Lois is not forgotten. She is still on my shoulder. It's $1 million question. Does one ever get over a loss? I think we come to an understanding and acceptance, but still wonder what the hell happened. There is no conflict between the journal and me being fully committed to Liette. She knows I came with a past just like she did. She was the one who told me to finish the journal and publish it. It was her who enabled me to finally pass through the light at the end of the tunnel. Liette and I, two people making new memories, knowing that that one of us will die and all the other will be left with are those memories. Now the last poem I'm going to read, I actually wrote it about 16 months into the journey, but I think it explains how difficult grieving is for everyone. I call it From the Inside Looking Out, From the Outside Looking In. A spouse, partner or child is lost to death. The one left behind tries to understand. Time, they say, will heal. Get back to work. Go out and find a companion. Advice, advice, concern, concern. Who are they? They are friends. They mean well. They are the ones from the outside looking in. We are the ones from the inside looking out. Like a child in the womb, we are growing. We're finding ourselves again. Until your death, we were one of them. Full of good intentions, yet so ignorant. Ignorant because we've never tried to understand. Understand what death is, what death does to the one left behind. We don't talk about death. We're afraid to ask the simple question, how are you really feeling? We tend to believe we know what the ones left behind are feeling. We believe we know what is best for them. But the one who is alone knows that to feel the way we feel, they will have to experience in themselves. It is then they will truly understand that from the outside looking in, there's nothing like those who are looking out from the inside. Let us grieve our way, not the way you think we should. Grieving, we will get through it, accept it on our terms. We grieve longer than you realize. I think we actually do grieve forever. That's okay. It's easy for us to put on a facade. We too maybe take the easy way out, as we don't want you to worry. Now, who is the more compassionate? The ones looking in from the outside, or the ones looking out from the inside? What came first, the chicken or the egg? It doesn't matter. Just give us space. Don't try to think for us. Just be there if needed. Yes, men do cry. Thank you.
Questions, and raise your hand. Someone will bring you the mic, and remember to hold it just like that.
One thing I would like to ask is that people who've lost a spouse, a spouse has died, would you raise your hands? Keep them up. People who've lost children, would you also raise your hands? Keep them up. Also, who've lost parents, grandchildren, we're all affected.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Gary, good morning. Good man. I never thought I'd say this to another man, but thank you for exposing yourself. I got a two-part question. The first one is, what was the worst advice you received during the grieving process?
The worst advice?
Yeah, well-meaning, but
like, a good friend would say, oh, you've got to come around here and meet so-and-so. Like, she's really lovely. Hey, don't go there. I'll go there when I'm ready, not when you think it's ready. And I think they, we do it unconsciously, and we do it for the best intentions they do. They're hurting too, and they want you to feel good.
And on the vein of inappropriateness, my second part is, did you manage to lift the veil of manly silence this morning after the Canadians' victory? And do you have any advice for the Swedish team?
Yeah, well, I actually do. I better leave now, I think. Because the Swedish team want me to give a talk to them on grieving.
I just want to say thank you, Gary, for being one of the bravest men I know, and also for Leah being one of the bravest women I know, for exposing both of you.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to use a pop psychology phrase, but people often repeat, and that is the whole notion of closure. And after hearing you talk, I don't think that it really exists in the way that we think it might, but I want to know your take on it.
Yeah, like, grieving is something we are prepared for. As I said, we think we know what the person's going through, and do we ever forget? No, I don't. And the sad thing is, it's hard even with my best friends to sit down, the three of us, to talk about Lois. And hey guys, you might be surprised years later, we can have a good laugh about it, and we might cry, but she may be gone, but she's not forgotten.
Thanks, Gary, for breaking one of the many taboos about talking about death, and for giving Till Death Do Us Part a whole new perspective. I meet people that have been married for 50 and 60 years that have never talked about dying. And I'm wondering how this experience that you and both Lizette had are informing your marriage now. Are you two talking about dying ahead of it?
That's another strange thing, we don't talk a lot. It was interesting. Last night, I think she was more uptight than I was about the talk coming today. Because, she doesn't talk much about the loss of her husband, Jerry, and for some reason, I've got no idea why I talk about it. Even the friends I've met down here, I'm not scared to talk about it. And I just get frustrated that the subject, we'll handle it later. No, it's, guys, you can't prepare for it, but you can be a lot more aware.
Yeah, and thank you very much for your subject. It's very informative. A quick little story, to reflect on, what happens when somebody passes away. I had a colleague, and I was working with him one day, and he said, "Listen, I wanted to take you over to meet my parents." So he drove me over, and I met Gordon and Bernice, and the long-time married. In 1996, she was diagnosed with cancer, and she was very aware, and she related to me that life is for the living. I'm very concerned about Gordon because he won't do very well by himself. And what she did, and I found it quite remarkable, and I relate this story to men who have lost their wives, but they used to go to McDonald's all the time for coffee, and there was a lady in there whose husband had died 2 years ago, and what Bernice did, she went up to her and said, "Verna, I'm not well, and Gordon's a fine man." She actually did matchmaking, and she connected Verna to Gord, and on the other side she was telling Gord that Verna's she's a wonderful lady, and I would have no problem with you two getting together after I pass on. And what happened when he passed away, when she passed away rather, Verna was right beside him throughout the funeral. They started visiting each other day by day, and within a month and a half, they were almost coexisting together, cohabitating together, and nobody ever criticized Gord because it was Bernice's wishes that this evolved that way.
That's a neat story. And then one thing, I think many of you will be surprised. I've spoken to a lot of people who have lost a partner here, and for those who haven't, if you could be a fly on the wall in a room with just two of us talking, you'll be amazed about what we talk about, because we all, male and female, seem to go through this grieving process very similar, and I said, you won't believe how much we hide behind the facade even years later.
Just one question. How long do you estimate it took you to move to another stage after that?
It was I met Leah about 18 months into it, so it was, and then, she moved in on the before the second anniversary, and then that's when I started to come out of my shell. Then, at first I was guilty, which I guess we all do feel guilty. Yeah.
Gary, thank you. I just really want to honor you for writing your memoirs and then sharing them with us here today. I guess I want to ask, is this part of the process for you?
Like this here, I've been fine for years now, okay? But the thing that came out with this here, I was just telling Loretta before, and a lot of people, my friends know here, at school I couldn't talk. I used to stammer. Teacher told me to get up and say something, I would just shut up and get kicked out of the room. And I said, hey English teacher, he'll be looking down here now saying, oh, everybody's got a lost cause. But I was real surprised that, last night I was in there, something came over me, a calm or something, and I was scared as hell getting up here today. And I think, for me, I did bloody well.
Were you ever tempted to seek out other people with similar experiences to hit the
Yeah, right.
share your own?
At the beginning, I went to a counselling group that the hospice had, but again, I had the macho man syndrome. Hey, it's not for me. I didn't want to be there. Go to the library, you sit there, you look at the grieving section, this many books for women, this many for men, and the thing that the ones I saw was real interesting. I can't figure this one out. Half of those ones for men were written by women. Go figure. And then obviously me writing the journal, as I said, everything flows, and you have to trust me. Nothing in there was written, the poetry and all of that. I just sat there and bang, it flowed. I don't know. This is the result of it, And oh, by the way, guys, it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Chapters Indigo, and paperback and ebook.
Good for you. I think that's, oh, there are a couple more.
Yeah, we have more. Tim?
Thank you for being a wave that came onto the shore so that we could come onto the shore. My friend here, whom I'm visiting for our 33rd in a row Valentine's, and she took some old seeds a while ago, really old seeds, I don't even know how old, and she threw them in some ground and kind of thought, what'll happen with old seeds? And incredible, these unbelievable little weed-like tiny pink flowers grew, but she put it too much in the sun, and every morning they'd fall down because it was too much sun. Now she has them in the shade, and they're flourishing just like unattended sorrow does. And this whole thing that you've shared with us is like giving permission for yourself and for all of us to let waiting waves come in whenever the shore is ready. Thank you.
Is this working? It is. Gary, I'm so proud of you. I knew Lois, and it's very serendipitous that I'm here at this time in Ajijic, where I had no idea Gary was, until just very shortly before I came. So I'd like to say congratulations, Gary. Lois was a beautiful woman. You now have a very beautiful wife, and I'm happy for both of you.
Thank you.
I have another question. In your process, Did you do did you gather information about what people were talking about, the stages of grief and going through those?
No, I never did. Everything I did came from somewhere back here. I never read any book on grief. I did, on the way to New Zealand after, 2 weeks, I had one book there, I read about 10 pages, I said, this isn't me. You know,
Yeah.
I had no understanding in what they were talking about, and I did it my way.
Yeah, many of the psychologists say, well, you go through these stages. I didn't experience that either.
No, yeah.
Any more questions,
You
comments?
got all dressed up for the event. I like to see you got all dressed up.
Yes, it shows great respect for us.
What you see is what you get. I just throw it.
Any other comments or questions? Yes?
I have a niece. She just lost. Well, a year ago she lost a boy who was 17 years old, and I want to have her over. And I would like to ask you if you give consultations or sessions.
I've never ever thought of that. I speak with people I just meet, but I mean, I'm not a professional. I don't know. I say it bluntly. I don't beat around the bush.
I guess
straight. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll. Is she here? Is she?
No, she's going to come.
Okay. Well, if you can get hold of me, I don't know. I'll have to get the email. I guess you can email Jim, and he's got my email.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm going to be round at the restaurant just here, the Old Posada there, and I've got a few books. I only got 7 because I had 140, but I gave most of them away. But I'll be there after this if anyone wants to talk.
Gary, you mentioned in the book that, which is a beautiful, the whole book is beautiful, and I do highly recommend it, that you had put a bench at a spot that was very important to you and Lois with her name on it, and it was something very instrumental. How did that solid concrete act of doing something like planting a seed in terms of grief help your grief move?
Like it helped me. It was down English Bay in downtown Vancouver. I bought a bench through the city parks program, and I could go down there. I just wanted to be by myself, other than Bob and Marilyn, the ones I call my rock. I couldn't talk to anyone, and I could be there, and I could dream. I could look up at the sky, and there's one star there, so that must be her. It made me feel good, And even today, I've paid, I don't know what it is, a few $1,000, so it's good for, I think, the 2020 now, the bench, So, and the kids, when they come down to Vancouver, Dallas is in the interior of BC, and Nathan's down in Seattle. When they go up, they go down there just for 5 minutes. Good friends again will go down and sit there for, just to sit there for a minute and just remember. So it meant a lot to me. And then even when I met Leah, we both went and sat down there, and she'll remember Jerry, I'll remember, Lois, and then sometimes, we'll both say that, if we're doing something, hey, you 2 guys up there, wherever the hell you are, help us on this one, And just a sidebar, like even the book, people sometimes say, hell, Leah is strong and all that. Yeah, she is, but she's been through it. And, how does she cope with me when I talk about it? Well, the title, Yes, Men Do Cry, she came up with that. And then the photos are here on the Malecon, and she's the one who took the photo. So,
Let's hear it for women!
yeah. So, she's a strong lady too. But to me, it's being strong, but she's experienced it, and that makes it a little bit more easier, if it can be, not the wrong word, to understand what we're going through.
Would you just ask your wife to stand so we can recognize her?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Rosemary's not my wife.
that will conclude today. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your sharing with all of us. So we hope you'll come back next week for Pat Miller. And please turn your cell phones back on, stack your chairs, and dispose correctly of your coffee cups. Bye-bye.